Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
Welcome. He's on Fire podcast, episode 21 already. Thank you, everybody, for coming in, spending some time with us. You know, hit that like button, share all this out, do all that fun stuff, help us out. We got quite a few subscribers since our last episode, which was the disappointing Green Bay Packers game. But we're going to get into that, but we're also going to talk some good Sun stuff. I think we're finally starting to see the Suns uptick just a little bit. Feeling good about that. Feeling bad about Arizona State football. I'm going to sound off on that just a little bit because they deserve it. After that, some Arizona State basketball stuff coming up. A lot of good things. He's on Fire podcast.
Urkavici sets. Looks up. And it is down strong. Blitz coming. Matthews. Palmer extending the play. Crosses the field. Larry Fitzgerald. It's insane to the 4-yard line. Crowder looking, throws it alley. Oh! He puts it down! He puts it down! They're getting a little wobbly. But it's Adrian shots IU. The foot race. They won't get him. Center field. The Diamondbacks are world champions.
Welcome back again. I'm feeling a lot better than I did on Thursday. And if anybody listened to the podcast, watched the podcast, you know, I'm sorry, but you know what? I'm not sorry. It was just not a good night for any of us in Arizona sports land. So we're going to bring on the full crew tonight. Hopefully Jay Ness will come join us at some point, but I have no idea. But of course, joined by my co-hosts, JJJ Joyce and Amit. Boys, how we doing?
Good, man. I'm actually a little disappointed because I thought the Suns game was tonight, the Rockets game. And I was like prepped, like, oh, we're going to go live. The game's going to be live. It'll be a little bit of a live stream talking through. And I'm like, oh, the game's not tonight. So.
Wah. Yeah, so it just keeps getting worse for Amit. So JJ, how are you, man?
I wasn't on Thursday. I was very, very mad, but I wanted to be on. I just didn't want to act out of emotion. Like the way I was acting, like it felt like we lost like the Super Bowl or the finals all over again. So I just needed a breather. I didn't want to come on here all just pissy over our first loss in 2 months. So sorry about that, but I'm just glad to be back. It's been a minute.
It has been, and a lot of things have changed. So we need to give a quick shout out right here for our good friend Roy. Congratulations on ATL. And I lived there for 6 years on ATL, finally getting a championship since 95. Y'all had some close ones. I mean, I don't need to bring up the most recent Super Bowl, but I remember back in the day when Jamal Anderson and the Dirty Bird and all of them got down there. You had a couple good Hawks teams, but overall it's been pretty damn disappointing for the folks down in Atlanta. So good on you, bro. Congratulations. I hope to feel that someday. I think we all hope to be able to feel that someday. I also need to talk about Bob Melvin going to the Padres as their new manager. Amit, I know you're a D-backs fan like I am, so I got some thoughts on that.
I mean, you know, honestly, so baseball is such a weird sport, dude. Like, no one ever thought the Braves were going to win, right? Like, when Tampa Bay wins or when these teams win, we always look back and we're like, okay, the Red Sox, the Yankees, star power, the Dodgers and Astros, if they're not cheating. I think nobody in the world wanted the Braves to win, except for maybe some Houston fans. And even I know a Houston fan is just like, I'm done with them. Like after that. Yeah. So, you know, Bob Melvin, I mean, you know, I think we can go back and look at it and be like, Bob Melvin wasn't the one how we won that World Series. It wasn't Bob Brenly. It was that pitching and just timely hitting like that in the defense. Like I don't think coaching really contributed much to the team when you got like Randy Johnson just throwing flames in Game 7. You know what I mean? It's just
And Bob Melvin was actually, in my opinion, the best. Maybe after Buck Showalter, but I was so young I don't remember. Probably our best manager, dude. And we just let him go because Brandon Webb got injured. Dan Herron turned out to be not Dan Herron, and some really weird thing. The Eric Burns situation and that whole contract, like it wasn't because of Bob Melvin, but it's like we had to give him the boot. And we still had like the same management. Ken Kendrick was still there. And he goes on to the A's, one of the poorest franchises, does a lot of good things there, gets to the playoffs. They remain competitive. And here he is signing a big time contract with a big time team, the San Diego Padres. And that kind of sucks. My friend Albert from work, and I hope he's listening, it's just going off about it. And he's really excited about Bob Melvin. He's posting a lot of memes and stuff on Twitter. And it's got me in my feels a little bit. I'm not going to lie. So let's talk about something happy. Let's talk about the Phoenix Suns and their victory last night.
Boom shakalaka!
It definitely looks like little things are starting to click here or there. Frank Kaminsky, you can't say he's a star of the game, but he's a star of the game because he filled in for DeAndre Ayton, and that bench roll came out and started the second half, did a lot of Dario-esque things.
Yeah.
But more importantly, in my mind, in this offense, in the 0.5 offense, you have to be able to make quick decisions and stick with it, for the good or for the bad. And whenever he got that ball, he would take one or two dribbles, stop, go one way. Oh, it's not there. Let's pass it out this way. Or he took it or he shot it. He made quick decisions.
You had that play highlighted on Twitter, the perfect play where on that short roll, he catches it at the free throw line. Mm-hmm. He could either dribble in further. There was a little bit of space if he wants to take a leaner, pull up, take the J. He's watching Mikhail cross, can't make the pass there, and he's got Booker in the corner and 3. And that's 0.5 offense to perfection.
To a T. Did you see that one that I'm talking about, JJ? I'm going to try to pull it up on Twitter while you're talking.
Like right when I saw that, I tweeted, I'm like, that's literally like how DA should be. Like, that's exactly how he should be in that role. It's like that's what Frank did when he was at Wisconsin. Like that was his whole fucking shtick. So, like, yeah, Frank played this perfectly. That's 0.5 offense to a literal T.
I want to point this out real quick. Frank, obviously in the middle. When he rolls, he's going to go out and then in. I want you guys to specifically notice that. And I wish I could pull clips somehow of all this stuff, but I don't have the time to really pull all that. But when you watch DeAndre Ayton, he doesn't go out and in. He almost stays. He goes straight down, which can be fine, except there's always going to be help over on this side. If you guys that are watching can follow, but for those listening, there's always going to be help inside the paint, kind of below the circle or above the charge. I don't know. What do you guys call that? The circle right there. The restricted area, restricted area.
Yeah.
There's going to be a guy above that circle, but below the free throw line circle. Okay. So when you dive deep right there, that just messes up the timing. Whereas if you do what Frank does, when you're going outside, kind of hitting the 3-point line and then going in, not only does it create spacing, it creates a better passing lane and passing angle, making it easy to get in there. And it actually gives Frank a step and a half or a dribble and a half, however you want to put it, to kind of be able to make up his mind of what you want to do. The problem with DA is I question if he can make the right decision when he gets the ball on these elbows, which is where you're going to see a lot of it. DA is kind of like Amari in that way, where he's just going to go all the way to the hoop, but he doesn't quite have that touch. He does have a touch, maybe not footwork or decision-making to do it. But if he gave that space, he would have so many little shots in that first little area inside the paint where that circle is. Okay. So I really want you guys to watch Frank Kaminsky and how he rolls. And I'm going to play it 2 times in case you miss it. So here comes the pick. Out and then in.
See,
has time to make a decision and go, and boom.
And that shot is always there when DA's in the offense. Like he clogs the paint like right away. usually, and that kind of takes away the mid jumper from Paul if he decides to go in. So with
One more
Frank
time
floating
right
like
here.
that, yeah,
boom, and in. Watch it again. Out.
like Jay
and
had
then
the shot, but yeah.
And it's really up to Frank what he wants to do on that play, because he could pop out for the 3. I would not advise for him to do that. He could dribble into the lane, which he has done, and he has his little finger roll kind of post move things that he could do. But I would not do that in this situation in the game. But he did the right thing. He took one dribble, stopped, looked, and then threw to the open man. And that's all you need. That's all you need.
And that was very Dario-esque.
Yes.
Quick decision making, not necessarily at the perimeter, but on the free throw line, extended elbow area where the Phoenix Suns do so much action. If you look at a lot of their plays, a lot of their offense comes out of free throw line, elbows, and free throw line extended. Yeah. You'll see not even the main pick and roll. If the ball is on the corner or whatever on the other side, on the outside of the perimeter, you're going to see so many screens where Booker or the next guard are going to come right off that, either curl to or curl away. And then you'll see some secondary action going on there as well too. So there's so many things that go on there. That's one of the things that I really put into coaching, was going to the nail, which if you don't know what the nail is, it's dead center of the free throw line. There's always going to be a nail there. Go to the nail and then make your cut. You do that a lot in a 5-man offense or 5 out, but it's so critical for DA to get that spacing, and he just hasn't been able to find that. Go into space and they will find you. So basketball hoopers out there, if you ever play in a game and you're not getting the ball a lot, everybody's kind of been there, and you're cutting, you're doing all this stuff, go to the open part of the floor. If you're just sitting there in the corner, find some open space and go to it. And DA's got to learn that. But JJ, other than the amazingness that is Frank Kaminsky, what else did you see in the game last night?
So the first half was relatively good for us.
Snoozer.
And I definitely wasn't happy because we're going against like third stringers and shit. But Chris Paul, he just passed Nash, with his assists and stuff. Crazy milestone. But yeah, Booker started off cold. JaVale wasn't clicking with anything that was going on in the first quarter.
Shaq been fooling up.
Yeah, so
we were just think about that play that we just saw. Imagine Elfrid Payton at point guard and JaVale McGee at center, and that's just a recipe for disaster right there.
If you're not throwing an alley-oop, there's not a lot of motion to come out of that one, dude.
Because if JaVale McGee catches the ball where Frank did, he's going to Shaq and fool all over that play.
But if Cam Payne does that, Cam Payne has a way of wiggling down to the defense and then waiting until JaVale gets there to roll with him. So that passing lane is still there, and then he lobs it up, or he's going to pop it, or, they just respect him more. The defense, respects Elfrid Payton, respects Cam Payne, where he can dish it out and make other things happen. But yeah, that's correct, Amit. Keep going, JJ.
But at the end of the second quarter, everything just started to flow. There was like a different energy. By far, Mikal has been the most consistent player since the start of the season, and he looks like a strong third option. Paul's shot finally started hitting last night. He hasn't been shooting the ball well, but Mikal, he's creating his own shot. He's setting proper picks. He's clogging the paint. He's really stepped up. And I don't know if you guys saw that photo. It was halftime, and Mikal was the only one out there. He was already. Yeah, he was ready 5 minutes before everybody else came out. And you saw that energy right at the start of the third. When they cut the lead down from 17 to 10. And they just took the game over, and I think they outshot them 40-19, I believe, in the second half. So,
if you go all the way back to the middle of the second quarter, they outscored them. I wrote down it was 81-49.
Yeah,
over 2.5 quarters, which is some pretty solid defense right there. Considering, and I think they only had 4 turnovers in the second half or something too. In the game before that, they went on a 50-12 run over, I don't know how long of a period of time that was. So, and we know that's what this team does. They put together these really long stretches of just really solid defense and then streaky shooting, and they build these leads up.
Did you all hear what JaVale McGee said today in an interview?
What he said?
No.
he was asked about the crowd booing because after the first half, the crowd started booing them. And I was like, yeah, give it to them. Boo louder, in fact. And, you know, he usually is like, y'all should be supporting us. We're representing your city, yada, yada. But he was like, you know what? We weren't playing well. We deserved to get called out. And I appreciated them holding us to that standard. And I'm glad we were able to come out and ultimately win the game. I do think it says a lot that a dude that is all about you need to rep us is now being like, thanks for holding us accountable.
Yeah, absolutely. Like at JaVale, he really stepped up in the end of the third, early fourth. You know, like he finally took his headband off and he started to actually play like a backup center. You know, and he kind of took the game over for a bit. Then when Book finally came in, I don't know why Monty had him on the bench for most of the third, but yeah, as soon as Book came in, he just kind of took over, and Book was playing like hard defense, and it's kind of weird seeing that. And
I think Monty held him out because he had chemistry with the unit out there. I think he was sending a message to the team because they were clicking like that. I mean, that group, Cam, Mikal, can't remember the whole squad.
Shamit, Chris Paul, and then either Frank or McGee. I think it was Frank at that point, but
yeah. Frank went all the way up, and then he got really tired, and then they brought in McGee at the end there. But yeah, I mean, that unit was playing so well together. I don't think there was no reason to play Booker. And then when Booker came back, I mean, he did what he does, right?
Well, yeah, we need to talk about Booker beforehand, though, man. Book was just icy cold, but I heard there's a new NBA ball they're playing with.
Yeah.
Is it the Wilson balls? And every ball is just a little bit different, and it's not a Spalding ball. I didn't know that. Do you remember like 10, 15 years ago, Jay, you might not, but Amit, they had a new ball. And players said it started like cutting their fingers a little bit.
It was that synthetic.
I actually know what you're talking about.
They had a synthetic leather ball that they were using. And nobody liked it. I think they even switched before preseason or during preseason back to the
it was like a week or two into the season.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But the Wilson ball, I'm surprised because so what I heard is that the ball there's not consistency with all the balls. Like some are just made different. But I don't know. And when you guys play, when I play, we usually play with the Wilson, the Evo ball, the Evolution, which is actually a really freaking nice ball. Like we try to find that ball when we play. We never play with Spalding balls. So I don't know. I mean, that's interesting because I guess they mass produce this thing and it just doesn't work.
It's the first time I've heard it though, and a lot of teams and players are struggling shooting the ball, and it came up today. So
and just handling it too. Like Paul kept on picking up his dribble and stuff, and like Dame's
he was doing that. He was doing that in the play. Chris Paul was doing that in the playoffs, man. There's something weird about Chris Paul right now. He turned it on in the fourth quarter and the third, second half. But his passing, his dribbling, the lazy passes. How many passes did they just straight up steal for a breakaway dunk, man, or steal the ball from Chris?
And here's another stat. So we had 19 turnovers, I think. 14 of them are from three guys: Booker, Paul, and I believe it was I can't remember who the third guy was, but it was not. I mean, it wasn't. It was like people that are handling the ball.
Probably Jay.
No, it wasn't Jay.
Probably JaVale McGee.
I think it probably. Yeah, I think it was JaVale McGee because he started right. So it was
that
McGee.
makes sense. Then.
Yeah. So McGee and then McGee he's going to have those turnovers when you give him more volume with the ball, more usage and more time, which is not good. But like Booker at this point, he should not be having 6 turnovers in a game. It just looked lazy. There was just lazy passes.
He did that. He did that last year, bro. Like I was complaining about him early in the year, and this is so similar to last year. Yeah. He was averaging like 22 points on 14 of 18, 4 of 18 shooting. Excuse me. Get to the free throw line, make a 3 or 2, and then he would have 5 or 6 turnovers. And
but the excuse there was that they didn't have the offense together, right? Like he hadn't played
exactly.
So there's no like the excuse now is that okay, well he's coming off COVID, he's coming off a really long season with the Olympics, but and he did look out of shape. Like the first few games, like you could tell he was just panting. He needed to catch his breath on times. But I think it's going to be just another period of adjustment. I think. I think there is a little bit of a hangover. Like I was thinking at the beginning of this game, I'm like, these guys are hungover a little bit from last season.
Sure.
I mean, it's, and we got time. Like as long as we don't lose the shitty teams, like and maintain our standings.
Like Portland just did to Cleveland tonight.
Portland lost.
Yeah.
Well, Well, Portland, I told you wasn't going to be good anyways, but my opinion, my prediction.
No, yeah, my own opinion, and it's okay if Portland guys want to trash you and then try to start beef with you just because you have an opinion. That's totally fine, but hate to say I told you so.
Yeah.
So far, it is not over yet, and in Dame we trust, to be honest with you. But real quick, going back to your turnovers, and JJ, I want to get your opinion on this. Book had 6, Paul had 4, McGee had 4, and then Bridges, Crowder, Kaminsky, Nader, Shamet all had 1. 19 turnovers. And you said we ended up with 4. I totally believe that in the second half. Yeah. Shooting percentage right now for the Phoenix Suns, like in 3-point percentage, is like 29th. Yeah. Attempts per game is 28th. Opponents' shooting percentage is 29th or 28th against us. Like all that stuff is bad, yet we're only 3-3. JJ, are you with the Booker stuff, the turnovers, 3-point percentages on both sides? Are you feeling good that we actually came out, showed some fire, and won that game, and think that this could be a little bit of a turnaround? And shout out to Willie Green, by the way, you guys. Or are you seeing red flags, and are you scared of shit and the season's going to hell and block everybody on Twitter mode?
Absolutely not. So I'll just go to the Sacramento game because I don't believe we talked about that on here. But it was kind of like the photocopy of what happened last night. Like we didn't necessarily have the energy in the first half, but we kept the game relatively close. But yeah, as soon as the second half started, Booker and Mikal, they kind of just took over with Paul kind of just directing the offense. He wasn't necessarily contributing like that. But I'm not necessarily worried. I definitely thought we'd be like Chicago right now, like 5-2 or something. But it's totally cool. Like early season hiccups and stuff where we're really trying to utilize JaVale, and Shamet is kind of like on a cold streak right now. We're just trying to figure out rotations and what works for us right now. We already have Cameron Payne and DA out, and so we have to adjust around that. So I'm not worried at all. I hate losing. Who doesn't hate to lose? But we practically won the Sacramento game. We came back, and it took Harrison Barnes a turnaround 3. Beautiful shot, by the way. Yeah. But we really won that game. In my opinion, that fieriness came in the second half against the Pelicans, and even though we should have dog walked them, I'm just glad we came out with the win, and hopefully we can put the Rockets away tomorrow, and show the Lakers we can win by 15 against a team you almost lost to. So
yeah.
Amit, are you in panic mode right now? Are you in chill mode? Are you seeing good signs?
I mean, I see good signs. I see a lot of the characteristics of the team that we had last year, but there are some concerns with what I'm seeing because we don't have Dario, so we don't have that small ball 5. We don't have Craig in that role either. We got Frank. And you know what? Hey, he can do it in the regular season, and I'll love it, man. If he made, if he makes himself some money this season, I love it because he's not going to play in the playoffs. But and he actually did play well in Game 6, right? But I think we need to think about what we're going to do. I think we're going to have to look at the buyout market, or maybe we need to get Thad Young. I mean, I've said it. We've all said it. We need Thad Young for sure.
Especially because declining sticks. Yeah, we're going to go into that. Yep.
I mean, that we'll get into that. But yeah, I'm worried about. I don't want to see Elfrid Payton on the court unless it's a blowout. Because he's just his block. I don't even know what his box plus minus is, but he sucks. He's not playing 0.5. JaVale McGee has not learned how to play 0.5 either. He just needs to be a rim roller and a shot blocker and a rebounder. He's getting too much usage. So
you mind if I ask you something, Amit?
Yeah.
So what are you seeing from Elfrid Payton that you don't like? Because what I'm seeing is what Javon Carter wasn't bringing necessarily.
I'm seeing too much one-on-one. I'm seeing too much
ISO ball.
Yeah, I mean, even he's not passing at the right time. He's not running the 0.5. He's not running it, the way that Campaign would. If you stay in your lane, he can be really successful in this role. I don't think he's the same shooter as Campaign or Chris Paul, but obviously he can score at the rim. And so he's got to find a way to use the 0.5 offense to score at the rim. And then find open guys. And when he makes the pass, it's just, not good. There's not a way to put that player in a chance to make a play. So that's what I'm seeing. I mean, he stuffs the box score in the limited minutes that he has, but I feel like that's because he has a ball in his hands the whole time. And he does play good defense. I'll say that. His defense is solid. On-ball defense is good.
I get what you mean. Yeah, he's not necessarily playing the system. I think that's why he kind of throws off everybody when he's in. So I do get that. Once we get Campaign back, I don't think we would be having this issue per se. But like, I prefer this Alfred Payton than our first generation Alfred Payton. Like, he's definitely a better player now.
Yeah,
and he definitely contributes to what we got going on right now. So I was just curious because I don't think he necessarily sucks. Like, I definitely agree that he's not really playing the system how Monty wants it to, but he's our third string,
well, I'll just say this
point guard right now.
For anybody watching the game tomorrow, look at the scoreboard when Alfred Payton comes in the game and watch what happens. That's all I'm gonna say. Just look at the scoreboard and then see what happens when Chris Paul comes back.
Yeah, I'll do that though.
Yeah,
that's fair. I'll absolutely take that
because Alfred I didn't even think about it that way.
I'm up and down with him. I think he does a few good things, can do a lot of bad things, but I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. And this is his only fourth game of playing, right?
Yeah.
And we're not seeing Shamet or McGee kind of in a rhythm, even though McGee had some monstrous dunks for us and 18 points and was like 4 for 5 from free throw line or something like that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass right now because I kind of remember Cameron Payne in the bubble. He wasn't really running the offense. He was playing his own ball and he was going for it because this was his shot. Like, no one can blame the guy for doing that. And when you're scoring 20 to 26 points a game, who's going to say otherwise, right? Alfred isn't that dude, and he needs to learn to play within the system and take advantage when he can. He's not doing that yet, but I do think he's going to get there. I also think that this was not necessarily a click game where the team started clicking. It was more of a wake-up game to see them come out, hit shots, play Phoenix Suns basketball, backs up against the wall, down 20 against a team and a coach that really, really, really wants to beat you. Do it at home, have everybody booing you, but come out on the other side victorious and play damn near perfect basketball the last 5 to 6 minutes. I know BI is out and I know Zion is out, but to do that against an NBA team is sometimes exactly what you need. So again, I'm not calling it a click game, but I think it's starting to snap into place just little by little by little. Now, if we go down by 20 and have to do it again against the Rockets, I'm worried about that because dudes like MPJ and Jalen Green, they can come out and they can just straight stroke that ball. And what does EJ always say? Don't let teams like this believe they can win. Don't let them believe they can. So I am a little worried about this game because of the firepower that they have. They're young and they just don't know any better. And that can be dangerous sometimes. Would you guys agree? Is this a trap game or do you fully expect the Suns to impose their will start to finish?
I don't believe it's a trap game. You want to go first? Or?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I don't believe it's a trap game. Like first 10 games of the season, like who really gives a fuck? So like we're feeling out competition. We're playing with rotations and stuff. Jalen Green had a great game.
He looks really good,
dude. Like his shot rainbow. Like but yeah, the Rockets like young core is really good. I'm actually surprised at they're a lot better than what their record shows. They almost closed out the Lakers and Westbrook finally had like a decent game, but maybe that gets better over time, maybe not. But this Rockets team, I think will have the same fiery edge as this Pelicans team did last night. So we should win, but if we lose, don't trip.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely should win this game.
I'm gonna trip a little bit, JJ. I'm gonna trip a little bit.
Yeah, I'll be a little. I'll be upset because, like I said, the other teams are winning in our conference. So we need to definitely win games like this, especially at home, dude. We cannot lose this game off rest. We have to win this game, and I mean, I just need to see Booker play with rhythm and like he's just not. Maybe he's in rhythm and he's just off. I don't know what it is, but the shots aren't dropping, and they're his shots. And I just need to see that happen. I need to see him have a really efficient game. 27 on 15 shots with 7 assists and like 1 turnover or something like that with 6 rebounds. Like I need to see a game like that from him. Start building on some of those games, because right now he's averaging less than like 20 points a game.
I think that's going to come Saturday. So we'll be back with you guys on Sunday night after the Cardinals 49ers game. We're going to have Alex from 49ers Cutback joining us, for better or for worse, Alex, for better or for worse that night. And we can get into not only the Cardinals game, we'll talk about the Rockets game, but I think it's going to come Saturday against the Hawks. I think Booker's going to have his best game of the season against the Hawks, because they smacked us at the end of last season when we traveled to Atlanta. I remember that game and how, like, damn, Atlanta's for real. That was their for real game for me when it came to the Hawks. So I think they're going to have their attention. Trae Young is going to have their attention. I'm curious to see how Trae Young sees in person, watching in person on TV, whatever, watching live. I'm curious about the foul situation and how the foul baiting and BS really is going to affect Trae Young, because he's not having the season he's been having. Same with James Harden, Luka, Dame. We could go on and on and on. So I'm curious to actually finally see that. And I think we're going to be able to beat Houston. I think we're going to beat Atlanta, and we're going to be able to talk all about it. Do you guys think we're going to beat ATL on Saturday as well, too? Or we going 1-1? What's going to happen?
That's a tougher game. I don't know what's their record right now.
They're 4-4 right now, and I'm going to see if they come off of a back-to-back, because we always seem to play teams that never come off of a back-to-back. It's always us and the other way around.
I know, and I remember during the Nash era, we always caught teams off back-to-backs, and we would just smash them.
They're 4-4. They lost to Brooklyn at Brooklyn tonight. They're going to be home to the Jazz tomorrow, and then they have 2 days. They have Friday off, and they travel at Phoenix for a 1-2-3-4-5 game road trip. So not on a back-to-back.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think Atlanta's good. Like, I like their team. I knew that the rules were going to impact Trae, because he's probably the worst one out of everybody when it comes to like all the stuff that he pulls. But I do like their team. Like, I really do like their team. They do have a lot of solid role players that are borderline, like, maybe all-star or like top 3 type on a really good team. Like Gallinari and what's the other guy that they gave a contract to?
John Collins or
Collins. And Capella's a good center in his role. Like, what he's getting paid is what I thought Ayton should get paid, probably maybe like an extra $3 or $4 million. And, Ayton's probably going to get the max, which is fine. But yeah, I mean,
another story.
Yeah, we never talked about Jalen Smith though.
Wait, do you both think we're going to go 2-0 these next 2 games by our next podcast on Sunday?
2-0.
I can see it as long as we have DA back by.
I don't think DA is going to be back though.
No.
I think he's going to be out.
I mean, JaVale will be able to keep up with Capella, so that might be an interesting matchup. But yeah.
Maybe by
2-0.
Maybe by Saturday he'll be back. Philly Sports Talk Podcast. What is going on? If you guys ever want to collab on any Phoenix versus Philly games, we'd love to collab with you guys.
That Philly Bulls game was a good one tonight.
That was a good one. And you guys probably know Romp 2.0. We love collabing with him. He's our boy. So yeah, hit us up. But thanks for coming in and tuning in, and hit the like and share button. Thank you. Jalen Smith. I saw quite a few reports that this is all about the next move. It's not about Jalen Smith. It's about the Suns and their next move. Yeah. Okay. Does that come in trade? Does that come? I mean, it's a big difference with Jalen Smith if he is a tradable asset with, not being able to sign next year versus being on contract. So expiring contract, I think, is good to trade him. It's good to get that money back. I mean, there's multiple reasons why you would do it. Everybody, I think, just is seeing red and like, oh, he's not coming back. What a bust of a pick. James Jones is a joke. They don't know how to draft, yada, 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 yada. And I just don't see it that way. And unfortunately for Jalen, it's the round peg and a square hole. It wasn't the right pick, but that doesn't mean we can't come out better on the other side. Amit, Thad Young, you've been talking about it. even if we don't get Thad Young and that, whittles away, would you be okay with this move with Jalen Smith?
Yeah, because I think what you're doing is you're setting yourself. So what this move does, and you have to, I got to give shots out to David Nash and all the other folks that are these contract wizards. Essentially, so it goes back to DA. If we had signed DA and then we'd done this deal, it puts us in a bad financial situation if we want to make a move for another player on a rookie extension, max extension. A guy's like, which you said in our text group chat, Jason Tatum is one of those people. Jaylen Brown is one of those people. There's a lot of guys out there on rookie extensions where you can't hold more than, I think it was 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever the number is, but we can't do it with DA on that deal. So this gives us the opportunity. It gives us flexibility. If we want to make a move like that, we can do it, right? It also makes the deal sweeter if you want to trade Jalen Smith, because now he's on a prove-it contract with any team he goes to. And they're like, okay, just show us what you got, right? So like a San Antonio, some shitty team that needs a big, we can make a deal. If it's a smaller, like on the margins deal for like a small ball 5 or, like a backup point guard, if Cam's long-term or something, like we can do something like that, right? Or like in Nader, right? Like if we can just move Nader get Nader out of here somehow and get somebody else, like that's the opportunity to do that with that deal. And I used to love Nader, but he just sucks this year.
I agree.
Right? So, because he's not shooting.
Whole team has too.
Yeah. But he came here.
Nader's on another.
First guy, he was shooting 40% from 3, and I was like, okay, I can live with that. Whatever else you do, as long as you shoot 40% from 3, I'm good. But everything else is just,
he gets in bull in a China shop mood where he just thinks he can take on everybody. And it happened last year a few times. And I was like, well, I'm going to give him a chance, and then all of a sudden it's just not right decisions, not passing, missing shots. I don't like it, but I'll say his defense is better than Jay Crowder right now. JJ, I know you have some thoughts on Jay Crowder.
Yeah. With this whole contract situation,
we appreciate you, Philly Sports Talk Podcast. We appreciate you. We'll give a follow as well too. Let us know where we can follow you on YouTube or Twitter in the comments as well, and we'll hit you up.
But with this contract situation, everybody talking shit about Jalen Smith, like everybody calm down. Like we're a championship caliber team. You think we have the time to develop him and put him in situations throughout the regular season to play? Like we have a deep bench. He just doesn't fit in our system right now. And I believe Jalen Smith is a good player. I think he has the potential to be. He moves good for a big guy. He can shoot from the perimeter, and he has good interior defense.
And 8-foot-long freaking arms too.
Yeah. His wingspan is crazy. Like if you watched him in Maryland, like he stood out, not just because he was big, but he's just a dynamic ball player. Like if we can
plays
send
well
him
against lesser talent, though. Like he plays well against lesser talent, and that's the thing with him. Like he looks really good against lesser talent, and like there's a reason why because we all love Javon Carter, right? Like I mean, we all love that dude. We love the effort he brought. But he could not. Shamet gives us more than what he could do, because he couldn't be an effective playmaker for other players, and he wasn't big enough to defend bigger players. He could defend a point guard, but he couldn't do anything else. So it was like, the writing's on the wall. Like I see Jalen Smith getting traded at some point during the season.
Oh yeah, for sure. I see him getting traded like as well. We just don't have the time to develop him, and it was a smart move not to agree to his third year. So if we can set him out along with Nader and Dario possibly in some package deal, maybe not that young. Maybe there's some like another guy in the mist or something that like can give us a defensive presence and maybe an offensive presence as well. Like someone of Torrey Craig. I miss Torrey so much.
What's funny is somebody floated the idea that because Torrey Craig's minutes have kind of dropped, that he might be on the buyout market again. Like, wouldn't that be awesome to get Torrey Craig back on the buyout
I love
market?
Torrey Craig, dude. Like he comes out here like pretty often. Like he's cool with all the guys here. Like if we can get him cheaper, like cool, like we need him. Like his defense was crazy, and like no one knew Torrey had a good offensive game, and he brought it every night. So I think that's exactly the type of caliber player that we need. that or Thad Young. I would love to have Thad Young, but I don't know if you guys listen to the Locked On Phoenix Suns podcast. I
Yes,
forget.
Brendan, I hit you up.
Yeah.
Don't be ghosting
Come
me
on,
again.
man.
Don't be
Come
ghosting
on.
me.
But he was talking a few weeks ago about the Thad Young situation, and he said currently there isn't any talks about acquiring Thad Young at this moment. That doesn't mean that won't transpire in the future. So we'll see. But like everyone that's like talking down on Jalen Smith, don't like we just don't have the time for him right now, and that doesn't mean he won't be a good player. Like
Yeah.
we'll see what the future holds.
Look what the Rams are doing. They're trading away draft picks for proven talent to win now. So why
Frank
would
Goodell.
we keep drafting guys to develop them? No, we're done doing that. We've picked the guys that we want. We have our core of guys. We picked D-Book. We picked McHale. Cam Johnson. Got lucky with Cameron Payne. Got lucky with Frank Kaminsky right now. All the same age and all needed developing 3 years ago when they were on the team. DA, obviously the number 1 pick, and look at us now. Now we're in win mode. You don't bring aboard rookies unless it's a Jason Tatum type of player, a Trae Young type of player. You're the Boston Celtics and you fall into the 3rd pick. I lost my train of thought. You do not draft guys and then try and develop through a season. That's not who we are right now. We're in win now mode, you guys. We're not developing. We need to get out of that mindset. So,
and even wasn't he like a 4-year player too? I mean, we took him with the idea that he was
2-year.
Oh, was he only a 2-year player?
He was 2 years.
Yeah, he was a 2-year,
but he wasn't a 1-year player, right? So he had a little bit. He was seasoned a little bit. I mean, I think the idea is that let's see if he can play. If he can play, he can play, right? Because Cam was he was like 23, I think, when we drafted him.
Yeah, he
played right away.
He was 4. McHale was 2 or 3. I think McHale was 3, if I'm not mistaken.
3 or 4, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but that's why they're the same amount of years in the end, or same amount in age. Man, I am just blah tonight. Okay, let's move on to the Arizona Cardinals. So we all agree that Jalen Smith isn't that dude right now. It's okay to trade him. It's okay that we didn't sign him as long as we come out better on the other side. Stop trashing James Jones, though. Yes. Everybody that says James Jones is trash.
Trust James Jones, dude.
Trust Monty. Trust James Jones. And I wonder when we're going to get that report on Sarver. We don't need to go into that right now. We don't need to go into that. I know. So Arizona Cardinals, we don't know what is going on with JJ Watt right now. Is he going to return? Not put on IR? Considering the amount of injuries, you would at least assume he'd go on IR and sit out 3 games, right? Not the case so far. Kyler Murray coming up limp after the Packers game. Looking like he might play, and all the things that I heard today, he's probably going to. I don't know if that's the right move, considering Cliff Kingsbury loves to run QB draws when our quarterback is injured. So a lot of weird. AJ Green, that's who it was, got COVID today. D-Hop is probably still hobbled, so we won't really know until the practice report comes out tomorrow. But a lot of weird things in Arizona Cardinals land. Amit, you have on the so fresh and so clean hoodie right now. I love that hoodie. I love that style of hoodie too. What are your thoughts on this upcoming game with the 49ers?
So I really would recommend that Kyler does not play in this game. Okay. I just don't think it's a good idea because he can be ready to play, but anybody that played with a bad ankle, it doesn't take much to injure it more. Everyone's done that, right? So I would not play him. Like, I just wouldn't, because I think it's a winnable game without him.
So even with Rodney Hudson coming back, and if he has a little bit more of a cleaner pocket, which again, we're playing against San Francisco D-line, which that's hard enough as is. Is that into your thinking as well too, because it's San Fran? You want him to sit in the D-line or what?
And Elijah Mitchell is most likely out as well again. So their running game is going to be a little bit weaker than it was the first time we played them.
Jimmy G's back though.
Who's back?
Jimmy G.
Yeah. Okay. So like I said, we should be good. No. I mean, look, they won the game last game, but I don't know if you guys saw what he did the game before that, which was it was a debauchery of quarterback play. And I've never been a fan of Jimmy G. I don't. There's a reason why they drafted Trey Lance. There's a reason why he plays in games when Jimmy G's healthy. like on those like 3rd and short plays and stuff. Like they do a lot of things to get Lance on the field. So I still think it's a winnable game, even though it's on the road. With Colt McCoy, he's a seasoned veteran. He can win one game for you. Even with AJ Green out, with Ertz and the rest of the weapons that we have, I think Chase Edmonds was limited in practice, but I think he should play. And Connor's just a fucking beast already. I know San Francisco has a really stout defense, and they held us to 17 points the first time we played them. But they did have a lot of time of possession, and it was just a weird game to begin with, all around.
Was that when the game Max Williams got hurt? That wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So I think we can win that game. I think we can win that game on the road. I haven't looked at the line though.
You are trusting Colt McCoy?
I'm trusting him with one game.
I need you to physically say, I trust Colt McCoy.
I trust Colt 45. No, I trust Colt McCoy to win us a game in San Francisco on the road.
I was just going to say that, and it's on the road. I love your optimism. You did completely talk me off the ledge last Thursday night. So first off, I want to say thank you for doing so. Second, I don't know if I trust Colt McCoy, but maybe in the system. I mean, why not? JJ, we haven't really talked since almost a week, 2.5 weeks ago, or a week and a half, whenever it was. I'm curious of your thoughts on the Packers game, which we saw in the comments. You were leaving some comments, so we got the gist of it. And I want to hear what your thoughts are on the 49ers game upcoming.
So I'll just start with the Niners game. I'm prepared for Colt McCoy to play on Sunday. Like Amit said, he's a seasoned vet, and he was a dog in college. And yeah, it's not his college days anymore, but like he can get you a game. Yeah, like he can get you a game, and like he knows the system.
Max
very
Hall
well.
won us a game, if you recall. Max Hall.
Yeah,
won us a game.
And with Rodney Hudson coming back, it's really gonna stop whatever Jones is letting in on every play. So, Kyler said, like the swelling and everything else has gone down, and he feels good as of this moment. But he grabbed the mic. But I'm totally prepared for Colt McCoy to play Sunday, but with Kyler playing on that shitty Niners field, I don't know if I want that. Just looking into the future. But yeah, I'm more than confident that we can win.
No AJ Green, potentially no D-Hop.
We have Rondell and Kirk.
Yeah. So they're really going to win us some one-on-ones, that's for sure.
Yeah, so
but they're not going to get the jump ball.
Yeah, so we'll see. Oh yeah, and we have Ertz too. So if Colt McCoy plays Sunday, cool. I think he can win us this game for sure. But if Kyler plays, I'm more than confident that we can go 8-1. But with this Packers game, I was really mad Thursday. I really contained myself on Twitter with how I was reacting. This game was not how I wanted to go at all. I think I could speak for all Cardinals fans. I just want to talk about Packers fans and just like this whole ticket thing. The Packers fans are toxic as shit, right? So after the game, I was seeing nothing but Packers fans talking shit like they're the best team in the league. Cupcake ass schedule. They beat the Bengals, but they just lost to the Jets.
Aaron Rodgers is going to be out now because his immunized ass, not vaccinated, his immunized ass has got COVID now, and he's out for, you would assume, minimum a game, but probably 2 games. Did you guys see the wording that he used when asked if he was vaccinated, by the way?
He clearly is not vaccinated. I don't know why he tried to lie. Just why don't you just do the thing where everybody else goes, well, I just don't feel like talking about my own personal health stuff. Why did he have to lie?
Yeah, you lie about it, and then you don't follow protocols, and then you probably got others definitely sick around you. So Good job, Aaron. He
might have been the one that got all the wide receivers sick. Who knows? Right?
Or Aaron Rodgers tested positive a long time ago, but he needed to play against the Arizona game, right? He needed to play that game.
Because it's Thursday night game. Like,
isn't it weird that we're starting to see stuff in the NBA coming up with players getting COVID? We're seeing it in the NFL. I haven't heard a peep from college football. I could be wrong. I do watch a lot of college football, and I don't remember anybody missing a game or coaches yet. If anybody in the chat knows, please point it out. I'm just saying we're seeing it more and more in some of the professional sports right now, not in college, and that's a little worrying to me. That means some people are definitely lying about stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Packers fans toxic as shit. They really haven't done anything. If you want to put them top 3 best in the NFC right now or in the league, I question your knowledge of everything that's going on. Same thing with the Cowboys, the game Thursday, very frustrating. I don't like that style of football that the Packers played. Yeah, I know they're kind of limping out on one field, but I just can't stand watching that style of football. Just slowing down the game, and my opinion, it's a very pussy way to play it. Yeah,
rejected.
It's just a cop out, and like I can't like
why?
Even if I wasn't,
why is
even
that a
if
cop
I wasn't,
out? When you have the less talented team, you go out there and you don't want the most electric player in football to have the ball. Why is that a cop out?
It's just Aaron played it way too safe, and like it got him the win. I just, as an NFL fan, I just can't watch games like that. And
we couldn't stop the run, dude. If we stopped the run, we wouldn't have to worry about that. Like that's our problem.
But they gashed us and gashed us and gashed us. 3-yard run, 4-yard run, 2-yard run, 4th down and 2. Let's go for it. 5-yard run, and then a 6-yard. Like, it was so constant. If you have so much success doing that, why would you stop? Clearly, his receivers couldn't even get open, dude. And then they lost Tanyan.
And they dropped balls.
They dropped balls. They had no separation. You really didn't want to. I mean, Aaron Jones was playing outside most of the game, dude. He wasn't even the one gashing us. It was their goddamn backup running back. So
could you imagine? Imagine on one of those plays. It's like that 3rd and 3 or whatever play. He throws a quick slant, bounces off the guy's hands. Buddha catches it, and it's a pick 6. And then what are they going to say? Why don't you run the ball? So, I hear what you're saying. Like, I don't like it either. I don't like to see it. I'm like, let's see what you got. But they didn't need to. And at the end of the day, they did that shit. We stopped them on 4th down 7 times in a row or whatever it was. And then Kyler took it 99 yards. And if AJ Green sees the signal, we probably win that game.
Did y'all see JV's comment on our last podcast and what he said about that?
What he said?
I might have missed it.
I haven't seen this before, but from everything that
is it a PI? Is it a PI on AJ Green?
No. From everything that I read, I hadn't seen this. So I was hoping JV was on here so I could ask him tonight. But he said on the comment, and I want to pull it up, that AJ Green was supposed to be a decoy on that play and didn't expect it to come to him at all.
Yeah, no, there's no way, dude.
I feel like you would still look because he's wide receiver 1.
That's the miscommunication.
What I saw, so somebody, I think it was like one of the verified Arizona Cardinals reporters. I think it was it? Can't remember. No, it was who's the guy that does the morning show he used to do the morning show with Wolf.
Luke Lipinski, Doug?
No, the other guy.
Doug
not
Wolf?
Luke, not the other guy, not Wolf, but the other guy.
Doug.
Yeah. I guess whoever it was. No, I don't know who it was. Basically, there was a PI on that play. So if you go back and look at it and screenshot, whatever, right? But there was definitely PI on that play.
I appreciate them allowing them to play with that amount of physicality. Like, it's football. I'm totally fine with it. It didn't impede him to turn around because he turned around just fine. He just didn't go after the ball.
If he looked, then yes, I agree. If he looked, you got to call it.
If he made a play on the ball, different story. He did not.
Yeah. I don't believe that decoy thing because, they're right on the goal line. as a receiver, you should just be looking always because like anything could happen. And like, yeah, there might have been miscommunication or stuff, or he didn't even hear the audible. But as a receiver, you got to look. And with Hopkins out on the field, you're wide receiver one, Green.
Yep.
So like Hop was saying like on the sideline, I don't know if you saw that video, but he was saying like Douglas like he sucks on the shoulder and like you catch him slipping and like AJ Green didn't hear that, but like I was really mad at AJ Green, but mistakes happen. Like the stadium was loud.
The game wasn't lost on that play. So
yeah, no, like we were dog shit all game. Like how the Packers played, I'm not a fan of it. Yeah, it's effective and it's what they had to do. It's just as an NFL fan, I just can't stand watching shit like that. But yeah, we played like dog shit and like Kyler marched down 99 yards, almost won us the game, and like I saw a lot of positives, and I hate Thursday night games too. Everybody gets hurt. It's like an every week thing. I think we should just get rid of them.
Yep.
But like I did see positives, even though there was a lot of negatives. It's our first loss in 2 months. We're undefeated. I think we're still a top 2 team right now. The ESPN power rankings put Packers at 1, which is stupid. Like
that's fine. Let them.
I mean, it's fine, but like scheduling and like their roster, like I still think the Rams and the Cardinals are the 2 best. If you can swap them out accordingly, then have Bucks at 3rd because they had an embarrassing loss against the Saints. But
there was one ranking. There was one power ranking where we were 7th when we were 7-0.
Yeah,
I mean that forget power rankings. Forget that shit.
Run it. We're coming up on the hour mark here. We're gonna close out with Arizona Cardinal stuff. Move on to some Arizona State. But before we do, I was on Quest for the West with our friend Alex from 49ers Cutback and Sam from his Seahawks podcast. Go check that out too, by the way, you guys. And the NFC West, everybody else is kind of getting better right now. Starting to get a little healthier. Seahawks don't play this week. Russell Wilson got his pin out. They're expecting some guys back. 49ers are starting to get some guys back. Niners got a huge win against the Bears. I mean, Bears aren't that good, so I question that. But the point is they got the win. Once you get a win, in the NFL, it feels like you're never going to lose again. And when you lose a game, it feels like you're never going to win again, right? That's just the NFL. So a lot of the NFC West opponents are feeling a little bit better about themselves, and they're kind of on the rise. Von Miller going to the Rams, which I don't think is a huge deal, to be honest with you. And here we are getting injuries, getting COVID, lose our first game, and we're kind of going down. So before we move off of the Arizona Cardinals right now, Amit, are we still pointing upwards in the trend for the Cardinals, or are we going down? Talk to me.
I mean, I've been saying it, like, this is the critical part of the season. We got to keep Kyler healthy. Like, so if he means we miss a game and we lose a game, so be it. We got to keep him ready, because I think that's why JJ Watt is not on the injured reserve, because I think that he's thinking deep into the season, playoffs, he's going to have a chance to return to this team, Super Bowl maybe. So let's take a shot at the long view here. Let's take a long view and say, let's just get our guys healthy and keep it going. Like we're not going to go 16-1. We'll probably end up at like 13-4 or 14-3 if everybody's healthy. If they're not, maybe it's a little bit in between, but we're still going to be in the playoff picture. I think we just need to get home field for a few games. If we can get a bye, that's perfect. But let's keep Kyler healthy. The thing that worries me as I'm looking at the spread, the Cardinals are -1 in this game. That tells me that the odds makers are thinking that Kyler's not going to play. So that's a good thing. If you see that line going up to Sunday, -2, 2.5, 3.5, that means Kyler's playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
AJ, are we going up right now, or are we starting to come down to reality?
Going up. It's our first loss. We're one of the best teams in the league. We're dealing with the same stuff that every other team's going through, injuries and COVID. It's everybody's Achilles heel right now, so we can't really look down.
Weather the storm.
weather the storm. We have a great team. It was a lot better than all of us expected. Coach, you laughed at me in the beginning of the season when I said I can see this team winning 13 games. But
hell yeah, I did.
But we're not at 13 wins yet, so I'm not gonna go there. But I lost my train of thought. But if Kyler plays Sunday, cool. If Colt McCoy plays, then let's just pray that we win. But I think gunning for that 1 seed is going to help us, and especially with getting JJ Watt back, because that first round bye, and then maybe we can get him. JJ Watt obliterated his arm, so I don't know if he's going to come back.
I don't know if I trust all those reports. Why isn't he on IR? If it's, there's a chance, even if he got surgery, he could come back and play. Then, why doesn't he just get the surgery? Why isn't it already done? And, it gives him a longer time to heal. So something weird is going on with that. Something weird. So Jordan Phillips, you need to step up. And if we win.
And Chandler Jones, if you can ever find him, if anybody can find that guy.
Chandler Jones, dude.
Bring him to the game, please.
The
Marcus
last
Golden
11
doesn't do anything either.
The last 11 games that Chandler Jones has played in, outside of the 1 5-sack game to start the year, he's had 1 sack.
Yeah.
If our defensive line can step up and either pass rush or stop the run consistently, we have a good chance. If our offensive line can hold up against this stout 49ers defensive line, we will win. If those two things happen, we will win, period. It's all about the trenches with the Niners, you guys. It's all about the trenches. So watch that. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have Alex on. Amit, I hear you're going to be on 49ers Cutback tomorrow night. I cannot make it. So thank you for filling in. That's dope. And then we're going to get JJ over there at some time as well, too. You excited for that on 49ers Cutback?
I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to them. I know they're probably going to want to talk some shit, and they got a whole bunch of stats to tell me how they're going to win that game. I really can't say much until we see if Kyler's going to play or not, right? I mean, that'll determine. If Kyler plays, let me just ask this question. Kyler plays, we win this game, correct?
Yeah.
If he's healthy.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I don't know if he's going to be healthy. No, I don't agree, because it's all about the trenches to me. Offensive line and defensive line, period. That's what it's all about this game.
Okay.
If Kyler is hurt and he has time, we'll be fine. If he's rushing out the very first second and not even being able to make a read, doesn't matter who's back there, healthy or not.
Yeah, but we've seen them when the offensive line hasn't been good or injured, where they've schemed up this sort of West Coast offense where they're just dumping the ball off low and doing screens and all that sorts of stuff. So I could see them doing that with the injured Kyler, moving the ball down the field and getting into position, and then they could find Ertz, they could find Chase Edmonds in a screen for a touchdown, or Connor in a short game. So I'm confident.
I expect that. I expect dinks and dunks and a lot of motion out of the backfield, and then all of a sudden a 60-yard bomb to Kirk or Rondale Moore, right?
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen. There's going to be a lot of play action, I think, in this game, and a lot of ground and pound it, a lot of James Conner action.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
Hopefully. So I want to move on to some Arizona State and Herm talk. Amit,
I'm going to have to bounce for this. I can't even listen to this, dude.
I don't blame you. But before you go, wow us with some words of wisdom.
What do I got tonight? Well, so this week, if you guys don't know, is COP26. COP26 is basically all the countries in the world are getting together to talk about climate change. It's gotten to a point where this isn't a political issue. It became a political issue because Al Gore stepped in and, put his mark on it. It's not a political issue. It's something very serious. A lot of companies, businesses, countries, municipalities are stepping in to take our part. They understand the urgency. I would just say, get educated on it. Learn about what's going on where you live, what your company is doing.
Do your own homework.
Yeah. Do your own homework, and then don't do anything about it, like Aaron Rodgers. But seriously, just
he's heating up.
Just know what's going on around you, and just do what you can. That's all.
Facts. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Where can they find you on Twitter?
At Sustainable Amit. You'll find a lot of climate change content there. If you want to go there and get educated, that's a good place.
You have more followers than me, JJ, and the He's on Fire podcast official Twitter
and it's
handle.
all climate change people. It's all climate change folks.
You got to get
putting up numbers,
a couple sporties in there.
Yeah.
We got to get a couple sporties. So let's all flood Amit's Twitter with nothing but sports stuff now. Amit, thank you for joining me.
Guys.
Catch him tomorrow night, 49ers Cutback, and we will see you soon, my friend.
Peace, guys.
See you, Amit. Moment of silence.
I heard a lot of
ASU is going to need this to save your season.
I heard a lot of stuff being talked about Jaden Daniels, the coaching staff. More guys are going to be going out on that coaching staff. There's no leader on the team. Your quarterback needs to be that dude, number one. And Speak of the Devils podcast, our good friends over there. We had Brad Denny on it. We had Joe Healy on a couple times. And Jordan Simone, former Arizona State player, is now a sideline reporter, and he calls a couple games and whatnot. And he was on there, and he was very candid about it. He said, standing on the sidelines after Jaden Daniels threw his 9th pick of the game, whatever it was against Washington State, he came over, and it was just like, oh, ho hum. It was another Saturday. Nobody had the fight in them. Nobody did. Not one player on that side of the bench. And dudes were laughing as they were running off of the field for halftime. And it's time to get rid of Herm Edwards. He has recruited a team full of players that don't have the fight in them, don't have the discipline in them. And then he's starting to throw the players under the bus. That might be true, but that's not going to get you very far. That is an awful, awful way to go about it, especially being a leader of young men, quote unquote. We don't know what's coming with Arizona State football and the allegations, but one thing is for sure. Herm Edwards ain't it. Dennis Erickson had just as much talent, if not more, than Herm does now. One didn't illegally recruit, and one team showed passion and fire. Granted, it was in the form of 4th and 23rd, 15-yard roughing the passer penalty, helmet-to-helmet penalty, different type of passion, same results. We deserve better as Sun Devils fans. I heard they sold out against USC on Saturday. I don't really care. I'm not interested to watch the game. I will, because I'm on here, and I like everybody tuning in, and I like you guys. This season's over. I don't see them coming out of it. In a year where the Pac-12 is down across the board, especially the Pac-12 South, for them to not do it this year. Jordan Simone said it best, the Herm train and all that stuff. We're off the train. I'm off the train too. And I am done with this coaching staff. I'm not going to blame the kids, man. These are kids that don't know how to win at a professional level. And so you depend on your coaches to do that, to teach you, to groom you, to make you better than what you are. Part of me wants to say, there's got to be some dog in you, though. You got to want to go out there. You got to want to have that fight that will, I'm not going to lose this game. I get that, but I'm going to blame a lot of it on the coaches. In 24 games at Arizona State, Jaden Daniels has passed for 300 yards 5 times. Yeah, we have some good running backs, but they're not doing all that much. Yeah, our wide receivers are dropping a lot. JD5 needs to stay another year. Whether he transfers or wants to go to the NFL, I think he should stay for one more year. Arizona State football, your season's over. And it sucks. I'm a very passionate ASU fan, and it sucks. And I am off the Herm train. JJ, you've taken this ride with me this season. You've seen the good. You've seen the potential. For not knowing too much about ASU football before kind of coming in this year, I think you could, it passes the eye test, right? You see it. It's clear. You also see the inefficiencies, and those are even clearer and fully on display. I don't want to talk about the Washington State game. I don't need to hear it from you too. But just give me when I tell you all that, I'm curious about your reaction, your overall impression of Arizona State football. I'll let you take the floor.
Well, if you wanted my opinion, or just for the viewers, it was a shit show. It was some of the worst football I've watched, just in general, in a very long time. Uh, yeah, like I've been watching along with you this season. I don't have recollection of the previous years with Herm Edwards and what Jaden
Lucky
Daniels
you.
was. I know what Jaden Daniels was when he first got to ASU, but yeah, the Washington game was just abysmal, and
Washington
I'm
State.
glad. Yeah, like I'm glad you didn't uh, watch the game live because what I illegally stream my games, and I was in the
As you
chat.
should.
As you should, yeah. Like I was talking to a few ASU fans that were waiting while we are in pregame, and I said if ASU doesn't win, like the season's over. And the guy messaged back at me. He added me. He was like, "What do you mean if ASU loses?" I'm all like,
It's clear as day.
"Yeah." I'm like the pack. Like this is as open as the Pac-12 has been in forever, and ASU's talent-wise the best in like in
Year in and year out.
year in and year out, and especially this year with Oregon not being necessarily good. USC is like
UCLA.
Yeah, UCLA is whatever. Oregon State, they can give good comp, but like ASU's talent is there. Jane Daniels, I think he's a very solid QB, but he just has no sense of urgency, and it's been like that the last like 3-4 weeks. And like the running back room is a great room, and they can only do so much. Like I only see energy from those guys and Chase Hatch on the offensive side.
I love it. I love everything about you, Mr. Hatch.
Yeah, I like Hatch brings it every game. He deserves whatever.
Every play, bro.
Yeah, every play he brings it. Like he's the only one that's really contributing, and even if the play isn't designed for him at all, he's always doing something. And like trade him and Nagata and White. Like they're gonna have their moments in the future. It might not be for ASU, maybe in the NFL. I think they're really good running backs, and I wish the best for them. But yeah, this Washington State game was just like, yeah, I'm over it just because that
it was so bad you're over it.
Yeah, it was so bad. Like I've never seen 3 turnovers in 10 minutes. Like not even like game time 10 minutes, like in an actual 10 minutes. So yeah, like I had high hopes. Like ASU started off really really good this season, and I'm like, man, Arizona sports, like let's go. We started the podcast. Like the teams that we talk about are the ones that are like actually playing good. And then when they lost to BYU, I'm like, okay, whatever, off night. But who did we play? Was it Utah? Yeah, Utah. Uh, like what the fuck? That was another what the fuck game. And then this was.
I mean, going all the way back to the damn. Oh, which one was it? The UNLV game.
Yeah,
I was seeing some things. I was seeing some bad things too.
It's just like, what else can you say? It's like
it's from the top down, dude. It's an organizational thing from the top down. It has been an awful, awful season. Coaches not being on the sidelines due to recruiting violations. I could go on with the list, and it's not important. However, I am excited about Arizona State basketball and their new roster top to bottom. I'm excited about the changes. I don't know a lot about Marianne Jackson. I don't know a lot about Jay Heath. I don't know a lot about Enoch Boyachi. I'm excited to learn about all these players. Horn, I'm forgetting his last name. I apologize if you're listening, which I know all the players obviously are. I'm excited. Bobby Hurley got in a team that wants to play hard and play defense, and that this is going to be our identity as a defensive team. And I heard something from a Kansas reporter. I saw it on Twitter where Remy Martin obviously transferred to, and Bill Self under Kansas, but Bill Self is already getting pissed off with Remy Martin and doing all that he wants to do. So maybe some of it wasn't on Bobby, but at the same time, he gave them a lot of free reign, and that's kind of his been MO. Trey Holder, Shannon Evans, and all these dudes come in here. They just run the show at the point guard position, and we lose all ball movement. So, man, if we can stay away from Hurley ball, and JJ, hopefully you watch some Arizona State basketball games, because I think this is going to be a decent season for them.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch more NCAA basketball this year. Any local guys on this team?
Like Jalen Graham. I forget which school he went to, which high school, and then obviously Marcus Bagley, Marvin Bagley's younger brother. So obviously him. Do you think Rattler comes to ASU next year? Dude, I don't know. I don't care.
He should go to U of A.
I just want a coach that's under 60 years old, that has recruiting ties to the West Coast, and that has a no bullshit attitude, and that actually has experience, unlike Todd Graham. But Arizona State basketball, if I see more Hurley ball, which is just one-on-one NBA style play and things not happening and no ball movement, no set plays, I'm going to be very upset, and I will be on the fire Hurley train. I was on it at the end of last year. I was ready to be done. But he actually constructed a roster, top to bottom, not just guys that are point guards and being 4-star. No. He got a roster, top to bottom. Unfortunately, AJ Brahma decided he didn't want to be part of it. The transfer from, I want to say, San Francisco, and then he transferred again, committed, decommitted, and he was a Brahma Bowl, which is what his Twitter handle was. I was really excited to get him in here, get some more rebounds and a finisher. So that sucks, but I'm confident with the guys we have. I'm confident with what Hurley's doing. We just blew out some Division II team like 118-24 or something ridiculous. It's only a scrimmage. First game is next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday now. It's already here. College basketball is here. So yes. Tune in next Tuesday. A lot of good stuff happening. Arizona State football. Just, if nothing else, just win. Just win out. That's all I got for Arizona State football. JJ, before we jump out of here, I want to give a shout out to JV. Thanks for coming out. I want to give a shout out to Philly Sports Talk and Roy, Coach Dante. Jay Ness was in here for a minute. Appreciate him. He'll be coming up soon. Just want to thank you guys for coming in, taking the time. Please subscribe to this channel on YouTube. Please subscribe to our good friends at the ASAP Sports Network, asapsportsnetwork.com. Please listen to us on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcast, or Apple Podcast, Google Playlist, whatever it's called. And tell us a couple subjects that you want to talk about on our next show too, which we will have Alex from 49ers Cutback. But JJ, wow us. WOW with words of wisdom. WOW, see what I did? Yeah, I'm not the first person to get that, I'm sure.
Words of wisdom. Cardinals fans, keep your head up. We're still one of the best teams in the league, top 2 for sure. Hopefully Kyler plays Sunday so we can go 8-1. If Colt McCoy plays, and that's a true test of what our offense and defense can do without our prime ball handler, Kyler Murray. So there's that. Then with the Suns game tomorrow against the Rockets, hopefully that's a win. And I'm really looking forward to the Atlanta game, because that's probably the best team we've played so far, I'm pretty sure, that we're going to play. Yeah. So Atlanta's going to be a good competition. Hopefully we have DA back. I don't know. I would like to see him back. Maybe Cameron Payne, because his 1 week is going to be tomorrow. Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You can follow me on Twitter, AZ Kiddo, Jay Joyce. I talk about a bunch of stuff. I'm on the Spider-Man No Way Home train right now. Like almost 1 month.
And it's Wu-Tang Wednesday.
And it's Wu-Tang Wednesday, man. If you're not on Wu-Tang on Hulu, you need to get on it. It's one of the best shows out right now. You're gonna hear me and Coach's opinions about anything that's going on right now. But yeah, you can find me there. I talk about music, movies, sports, and I talk a lot of shit. But
all the good things though.
Yeah, absolutely.
My words of wisdom is a Facebook post that I just saw the other day that actually kind of brought me a little spirits. It says, "Please remember, your job is the dream of the unemployed. Your house is the dream of the homeless. Your smile is the dream of the depressed. Your health is the dream of those who are sick. Beautiful things happen when you distance yourself from negativity. So find something to be grateful for." And that just really stuck with me today. And I wanted to share it with everybody. And I'm very happy I did. Jay, thank you for coming on today. Amit, thank you. Absolutely. Please catch us Sunday, post-game, 49ers cutback, Cardinals versus 49ers. We got a couple Suns games going on. We're going to have another Arizona State USC matchup. Arizona State basketball next Tuesday. He's on Fire podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Urkavici sets, looks up, and it is down strong. Blitz coming, Matthews, Palmer extending the play, crosses the field, Larry Fitzgerald. It's insane to the 4-yard line. Crowder looking, throws it alley. Oh! He puts it down! He puts it down! They're getting a little wobbly. But a downfield shot!